It's AJ, UKRecordShop.com, and we managed to pin down the big man himself, Seth, Wagwan Bridgen.
What's good, man?
Old timer, huh? Long time, man. How you been?
Good, man. Good. Just grinding it out, working hard, you know, just keeping it moving, really.
I can see myself in your shades, man.
Yeah. Hiding my eyes, man. Hiding the eyes. Real tired.
Alright. I want to ask you a couple of questions from way back. You've been in this game a long time. I've never interviewed you before, so we'll take it back as far as I can remember. If I miss out anything, remind me. Okay. And we'll bring it to present day, what you're doing at the moment with this new mixtape as well.
Okay.
When did you first get involved in music?
I first got involved in music when I was real young, man. I used to sing in a group with myself, Mega Man, Keish, Swiss, Shabs. Basically, we were a group back in the day called Too Hype, Too Young.
Okay.
And then Mega Man went off to do his own thing, went away somewhere, and then he formed the blueprint for Soul Solid while he was away.
Went away?
He went away to a place where bad kids go when they do naughty things. It's like some boot camp kind of place.
Okay.
So anyway, he went boot camp, and when he was in there, he formed Soul Solid Crew.
Okay.
Like a little blueprint, like he wants to get loads of guys together, and when he came out, he assumed like I'll be waiting around.
Did he actually call it So Solid? Yeah.
Yeah, he called it. He named it Soul Solid.
Okay.
I think he named it, or Mac named it Soul Solid, or maybe PDS. I'm not sure. It's between those three anyway.
That narrows it down.
Yeah, basically, it was one of the three because Mac and PDS were really like the core Soul Solid guys, the founders kind of thing. But I don't know too much about that history.
Yeah.
Basically, and then he went away. While he was away, I got busy with a dude named K1, who was the other part of the Realists, and together we started writing and we came up with a song called Freak Mode. And through Freak Mode, we got a record deal with Go Beat Records. As soon as at that point, Mega had just come out, and he was like, "Man, I'm doing Soul Solid. Why don't you come with Soul Solid?" And I was like, "You know what? I'm really trying to just build the Realist thing now. You know, I finally started it, and then Mega was like, "Okay, cool. You got a feature with us because your brother's Soul Solid." So Shabs was already a member of Soul Solid Crew. So I was like, "All right, cool." I was a fan of like Scat D. So the first track I laced was Haters. And that went top 10.
Yeah, big track, man.
Yeah.
Big track,
man. Thanks, man. So then basically what happened was that I was at university. And instead of
was it uni back then?
Yeah, I was at South Bank University. And I was going to like uni, but my lecturer was like, "Seth, you just keep getting harassed to do PAs instead of working." So he was like, "Why don't you give music a full-time shot?" So I was like, "Alright, say no more." Left there. Tried to do the uni thing and a record deal thing, but that just didn't work. Got my deal, did that, and then Soul Solid blew up, Realist did their thing, and then I got signed to Atlantic. And then I left Atlantic Records, and then Shabs was like, "Listen, I formed Music Kids with K1, and all that is missing is yourself." And And then I joined Music Kids. I left Atlantic Records, joined Music Kids. Music Kids joined forces with Rock Nation, which is Jay-Z's label in New York. Shout out to Ty Time. And
what came of that though?
Basically, now Music Kids is more like it's like a brand now as a team. We got signed via publishing as well, and hopefully, touch wood, it will lead on to many other great things. Right now, we've just been writing a lot, writing for Mr. Hudson. We got a track on the Mr. Hudson album, which is called White Lies. That's written by myself and K1. Also, lots of acts in Germany, a lot of the X Factor people. Just basically writing for a whole gang of folks, man. And in the meantime, whilst doing that, I finished the album, and I've done a mixtape for the masses, which is called The Hero Never Dies.
Alright, we're going to come to that. Alright, cool. So, after Haters, switching it back a little bit further, what came after that? What other tracks were you on? Remind me.
Broken Silence. I did Broken Silence with the Soul Solid Crew. I did Grime with the Soul Solid Crew. Also, I collaborated with my brother D-Boy.
So it's three of you, innit, really? All in music?
Yeah, we're all in music, man. Me, Shabs, D-Boy. I got another brother, Joe, but Joe went into the more law side of thing.
So he's your music lawyer?
Yeah, kind of entertainment law, and if you break your wrist, call him. So it was a case where with the whole Soul Solid thing, doing all of that, and then doing D-Boy, Seth has now had to join forces with Music Kidz, and now we're presenting like my album, which is called Every Piece of Me, which will be coming out real soon. And like on that album, I worked with some amazing people.
Name me some names, man.
Robin Thicke. I got a collaboration with Robin Thicke tonight. That's real cool.
Okay.
I did a lot of writing collaborations with the.
How did you hook up with Robin Thicke?
Robin Thicke is actually basically what happened was that I heard of Robin Thicke years and years and years and years ago when he was a protege. He was Brian McKnight's protege.
Okay.
And on Brian McKnight's second album, which is called I Remember You, on the back of the album, I remember Brian giving props to a kid who wrote on his album called Robin Thicke.
Okay.
And I thought to myself, wow, because I was a geek back then, you know. I used to study albums. That's what I did. Like when I bought a CD, I would unwrap it, and I would know like even the photographer's name. Jodeci. There's nothing you could tell me about Jodeci. I could tell you everything about Jodeci. You know, when it comes to those kind of artists. So through and through, I was a big fan of Robin Thicke from the way he writes. I knew he was a cool soul guy, and then he went real quiet. And then I was in Los Angeles, 1997, 98, years and years and years and years ago.
Okay.
And I saw Robin Thicke on TV.
Okay.
And I was like, yo, this guy is so soulful.
Yeah.
And I never forgot him or his name.
Yeah.
That when I signed my deal, I signed with a label that can get me anybody in the world. Like I could have requested anybody. I could have worked with him. So my first request was Robin Thicke. I was like, listen, this guy, his name's Robin Thicke. And the label were like, why Robin Thicke? This guy, he's not going to do nothing. He doesn't even have an image. And I was like, listen, this guy's a star. And there's something special about this guy, and I can feel it. And then they got me out to LA. Robin heard my stuff. Robin was like, I'm a great fan of the kid's voice. Went out to LA, kicked it with Robin Thicke, found out we're both big fans of Jodeci. He claimed he's a bigger fan than me. I know I'm a bigger fan than him. Then we would have competitions like who can sing the best verse of Come and Talk to Me, stuff like that. So I got to know him on a like a more friendly level than just like workers as artists. And building that rapport, I then went on to work with Rod Temperton, who wrote Michael Jackson's Off the Wall, Thriller. So shout out to Rodney Temperton. I did a lot of stuff with him. He's on the album. Mike City, who produced a lot of Brandy stuff. I got him on my album. Obviously, there's Music Kidz, Bloodshot and Avant, who did all of Madonna stuff, Kylie stuff. I did a couple records with Stargate, but they didn't make it on the album. You name it, I've worked with him. Diane Warren, who wrote Unbreak My Heart for Toni Braxton. She wrote me a ballad called Never an Easy Way. I don't think that made it on the album, but shout out to Diane. So it's a great album. A lot of hard work, hence why it's called Every Piece of Me.
A lot of hard work.
Dude, blood, sweat, tears, you name it, all in one bowl. So.
And how long?
2 years in the making, man.
Wow.
Because it was a lot of politics as well. Whilst making the album with Atlantic Records, I had a lot of problems and a lot of disputes. I had to get myself out of situations for where I couldn't rely on the managers anymore, because it's so political that I had to now fire the dudes I had around me, build a new team, start from the bottom. Called on Shabs. Shabs put it all together. Shout out to Mr. Shabs. Got me out my deal with Atlantic, got me out my deal with EMI.
Alright, do you know what? We're going to come back to that. I'm going to cut it there. I'm going to come back to that.
Say no more.